Good evening and welcome to Level 2 Homework Helps. I am Belita Howard, one of your Level 2 instructors. You can call me Ms. Howard, B, Belita, teacher. But this is a recorded series to help with your homework, to help you explain it, and a little bit of extra help and practice, since we are online and not able to be in class, and our class is only 1 hour. So you can use your formal 2 hours to do your homework. Okay, so we're in for our homework for August the 13th, which is this Thursday and the first night. You have homework in Unit 1 of your workbook. Your workbook looks just like this. And we're on Unit 1, page 4. Well, first we're on page 2, sorry. Unit 1, page 2. And we are to do part A, B, C, and D on pages 2 and 3. And then on page 4, you're doing A and B. So the following is a little presentation that we're going to show to help you with a little bit of help with understanding the verbs, the vocabulary words, and additionally explaining the instructions in case you're having a hard time. Okay, we want to, I'm trying to show you a little bit of a presentation about our There we go, about our homework. One of the big things that we're going to be doing on page 2 and 3 is describing. Now, a descriptive word is usually an adjective. An adjective describes or tells about a person, a place, or a thing. And if you remember, a person, place, or thing is a noun. So an adjective describes a noun. For example, she has straight blonde hair. Virgilio has brown eyes. The fluffy cat. The skinny man. Adjectives also describe taste, color, smells, looks, size, feels, like textures, sounds, quantity, or how many, and behaviors. When you're describing yourself or someone else, you probably won't do taste, but you would do color. They have brown skin. They have, they're very pale. They have blue eyes. They have red highlights in their hair. Then you would have, you might describe smells if they smell really good. You really don't want to describe them if they kind of stinky from being out and working all day. But they smell floral, they smell fragrant, or they smell like the dirt or sweat. Looks, you would describe looks. Well, they have blonde hair, they're skinny, they're tall, they have straight hair, they're curvy. Excuse me. They're handsome, they're pretty, they're, bless their hearts, they're not very attractive. You may describe size, they're tall, they're very short. He has huge arm muscles. Oh, they have the tiny feet. Or, oh, those big feet get in my way. Adjective can also describe a feeling or a texture. Something is soft, something is rough. That's fluffy, like a bunny or a kitten, or hairy, like somebody's got a lot of hair on their chest, or bumpy, or leathery, or ooh, silky, soft skin. An adjective can describe sounds. Oh, it's so quiet in the library. Or, oh, my house is so loud with all those children screaming. That was the awfulest or most awful music I have ever heard. Oh, that music was so soothing. An adjective can also describe how many: much, little, quart size, 2, 5, it can be a number, like 5 eggs, 3 green turtles, 3 and green being the adjectives. Or it can describe behavior, which you would use in describing somebody. Oh, he is so funny. His jokes just make me laugh. Or that is the happiest baby I have ever met. Miss Jones is so positive and encouraging. She is not bossy or mean at all. The person being interviewed acted very confident and self-assured. So you kind of get an idea of what an adjective is. So for example, on part B of page 2, you have 3 words that are given to you: black, short, and straight. And you're going to put the words in the correct order and then look at the people and write the name of each person. So for example, your number 1, Su Yin. Find Su Yin. She happens to be letter C. She has short, straight, black hair. So you're describing the length first, and then the color last. Ahmad has short, curly, black hair, if that helps you. So I've given you 2, you've gotten an extra one there. So do that, look at those for A, B, and C. A, you're just completing the chart. There's a bunch of words in there, and the first one is facial hair. So it says a beard. The type, well, is it straight? Is it long? Is it curly? The hair length would be short, long, medium. Height, average height, tall, short, and weight, average weight, fat, skinny. And so you would just use those words and to put in the correct thing. So facial hair, the next one may be a goatee. A goatee is just this part of a man's beard. So the goatee is maybe short. No. Goatee, curly, short, maybe, and then their height for the person would be tall, and then they are thin. So they just give you all different descriptions. And then part C, you're looking at Michael, Sharam, and Alexandra. And then you're looking at Michael. He has short hair. What else does he have? How else would you describe him? Well, maybe he has a mustache. He is pretty tall. He is average weight. You may describe that he is dark skinned, or you may leave that off because who cares? But it is a way to describe somebody. Okay, next. So when you are describing on part D, you're going to make it personal and write a paragraph of 4 to 5 sentences describing yourself. For example, If I were to do this, here's my 5 or 6 sentences. I am 58 years old and I can be bossy. I have short brown hair and I'm too heavy for my height. I need to be on a diet, but I am an emotional eater. And I love chocolate and desserts. I have blue eyes and I wear multicolored glasses. I can be very impatient and often talk too fast. I have 2 grown sons and 3 adorable grandchildren. 2 are girls and the youngest is a boy. I am married to a wonderful man named John, and we have been married for 38 years. So you choose what to say and describe yourself. This helps you in reading, in writing, in using your vocabulary, and it helps us to get to know one another. Okay, another thing we're going to look at in this homework is on page 4, where we get to the verbs. Verbs are action words. And then you have things like helping verbs that help describe an action. For example, to be is a helping verb, is, are, am. And then we have the other one, have and has. So you're going to do on page 4, part A and B. So let's look at the to be verbs. I am, use am when referring to yourself. He, she, or it, use is when referring to someone or something else. And use are when referring to more than one. So when you divide up learn your verbs, it's easy to look at I, he, she, it, we, they. It's similar to Spanish of yo, tú, and I forget the other ones, usted. So I am hungry, I am sad, I am happy, I am tired. He is hungry, Michelle is sad, Alberto is happy, the dog is tired. We are hungry. They are sad. We are happy. The dogs are tired, because dogs and are, there's more than one. Okay, so let's just do a little bit of practice. Also, we're going to look at the negative that's the, in the contraction. So if you and I just figured out something. Okay. If you're using is not, like she is not hungry, she isn't hungry. We are not hungry, we aren't hungry. Are, and then not with that little apostrophe then. I am not hungry, I'm not. Okay, so I'm always hungry. I am always hungry, or I'm always hungry. She is a very pretty girl. She isn't a very pretty girl. We are going to the party tonight. We aren't going to the party tonight. Let's see if you can do these. I, or I'm afraid of the dark. I am. She isn't or is afraid of the dark. The bats are afraid of the light. And then the negative, the bats aren't afraid of the light. Let's keep these positive. The dog is taking a nap. She is washing the dishes. I am studying for a test. The girls are getting ready for bed. Okay, so let's look at the negative on that. Use the negative. Okay. I'm not always hungry. She isn't a very pretty girl. We aren't, because it's more than one, going to the party tonight. I'm not afraid of the dark. She isn't afraid of the dark. Now you try these. The bats, correct, aren't afraid of the light. The dog isn't taking a nap. He is eating. She isn't washing the dishes. She finished and is taking a nap. That was a little tricky one. I'm studying for a test. I'm not studying for a test. Oops. And the girls aren't getting ready for bed. They are playing in the water. Now, aren't just sounds really funny. If you're not used to saying that word, it's just a funny word. It sounds almost like a pig snorting. Aren't. But if you slow it down, then it's are not, aren't. They aren't going to the store. They aren't studying for the test. Okay. Another one we have is have and has. This one's a little bit easier because you only have two options. If you use I, you, we, they, you use the verb have. If you use he, she, it, Carlos, Maria, dog, that's has. I have spaghetti and meatballs ready for dinner. Has, Carl's roommate has a pet. Because it's Carl, he. The dog has a bone in her mouth. Dog isn't it, has. We have pizza on Friday nights. That's a we. What do we have? We have pizza. Carlos has pizza on Thursday nights. All right, so let's practice. I have a dog and a cat. She has a bird for a pet. They have no pets in their home. Now you try. I have a long way to walk to school. Tom has a short walk to school because Tom is a he. Maria has a short walk as well. I have two children. David has 4 girls. The dog has fleas. These dogs have fleas. Those dogs, or these dogs, depending on the location of the dogs, is a we or a they. In this case, those dogs are a they. Those dogs, they have fleas. They have on a coat because it is cold. Good job. And we're not going to get into, okay, and if you're using the negative, we're not going to talk, we will talk more about does and doesn't next week, because that's a very different one. So for example, for maybe a little difficult, but you're looking more for the have or has. And then we'll get into more of those, the do's and the don'ts next week to practice those. But if you can get that, great. So we can just quickly go over it. So congratulations, that was your homework. You're making great progress. Try it out, do your very best. And remember the answers to your book questions are in the back of the book. And if you need any extra help, then just call me, email me, WhatsApp, and we'll be able to help you in any way we can. Remember to practice speaking and listening to English every day. You can do this by watching a TV show in English, reading a book to your child in English, read the news, read a magazine, just practice with a friend, just talk to yourself in English. Using your flashcards, those would be little index cards or that you can get at the Dollar General, or you can just get a piece of paper, cut it into several parts. On the first side, you would write the English word. For example, you would write do. Well, I don't think that has a Spanish part to it. Curly, let's go back to that. Curly, what is the Spanish word for curly? Skinny, tall, mucho, much, or many. One side English, one side Spanish, and then practice those kind of words. Practice those adjectives, those describing adjectives that you find on page 2, like curly, short, heavy, tall, long, thin. And then for your verbs, just start you a page in a notebook of your verbs. I, he, she, it, we, they. And then to be verbs, and then you have a heading of to be verbs. Let's just see if I can't show you that. And here's where we're just practicing a little bit more. Okay, so we're out of that one. Okay. See if we can smile. Okay. Now that I've been silly because I did the wrong one. Here's what I'm trying to say. We have I, he, she, it, we, they. That's on one side. We have am, is, are. Then you can make the contractions for it. I'm, isn't, aren't. The contractions and the negative. Well, you don't want to do that because that pushes it all together. So sorry for that. Okay. All right, again, Belita Howard, 615-804-5785. It's hard to type and talk at the same time. And I'm on WhatsApp. So those would be easy ways to get a hold of me. Again, thank you for joining us for Homework Helps. We'll go over this quickly next week and keep practicing. And we will practice do and don't next week. So if you have any questions, send them to me during the week and we will explain next week on your for our lesson, since this is not a live lesson. Thank you and buenas noches. And muchas gracias, los estudiantes. Good night, and we will see you next week.